Kwa majina mimi mnaniita Robert Makoha Wangoho. Mimi ni rais wa bunge la mwananchi la Nakuru County, na hii ni sauti ya rais. Sasa tuko kwa Ministry of Health hapa Kenya, na kwa kweli Waswahili waliwahi sema ya kwamba kitanda usichokilalia huwezi jua ukunguni wake. Na leo hii kama hujafiwa na mpendwa wako, ama leo hii kama hauko matanga, ama leo hii kama mamako hayuko kitanda ana gasp for that air, apewa oxygen, lakini madaktari hakuna wa kumpea oxygen, hapo ndipo utajua mambo mabaya na mateso ambayo wagonjwa katika mahospitali tofauti tofauti Kenya across the 47 counties watu wanapitia, na wakati huo serikali haijafanya kitu chochote. Now, it is very unfortunate that each and every year we encounter a scenario whereby people suffer because of the humiliations the doctors are passing through, and the government of the day has nothing to offer to ensure that the strike of the doctors comes to an end. Kulikuwa na wakati wa Kibaki tumesumbuka sana na mgomo wa madaktari. Kumekuwa na wakati wa Moi tumesumbuka sana na mgomo wa madaktari. Kumekuwa na wakati wa Uhuru Kenyatta tumesumbuka sana na mgomo wa madaktari. Mimi ningekuwa Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto wakati wa tenya yake, angekuwa mwerevu na come up na njia badala ambayo itakab the doctors strike once and for all. Na ninaposema curbing the doctors strike once and for all, I don't mean that you send police to tear gas them. I don't mean that unatuma mapolisi wanaenda na rungu wanachapa madaktari wetu. Hapana. Hii inafaa ujue where the rain started beating the Kenyan doctors in the nation of Kenya. Sasa hapa hivi kama kuna any kind of CBA, collective bargaining agreement, ambayo imewekwa kuhakikisha ya kwamba madaktari wanapata chenye wanataka, mimi naona ingekuaga honored, mambo yangekuwa shwari sana. But unfortunately the government of Kenya has been having presidents, have been having leaders in the capacities of the CSS of health and ministers of health ambao wanapata condition ama direction kutoka kwa president ambaye anawapea kazi. Hii kitu imepelekea Wakenya kuumia sana na kuteseka sana na kupoteza wapendwa wao. Na mimi narudia kwa kukuambia, kama haujawahi kuwa na mgonjwa ambaye anafaa kufanyiwa operation either ya tumor ama ya appendix ama ya CS anataka kuzaa ama ya ubongo, huwezi ukaelewa chenye Wakenya ambao wako na wagonjwa mbalimbali mahospitali wanapitia kipindi hiki. Sasa wewe William Samoei Ruto, who is the president of Kenya, by now you will have come up and declared the doctors striking and the lameness in the Ministry of Health a national disaster. But it is quite unfortunate that a president of your caliber, who is being praised by other nations, that you are a young and most educated president in Africa, wewe unapanda ndege unaenda ziara zako na nyumbani kunateketea moto, just like the way you did during the time Raila Amolo Odinga was leading the demonstrations across the country. Wewe ulikuwa unapanda ndege unaenda ng'ambo. Sasa hivi unapanda ndege unaenda shughuli zako wakati doctors are still in the strike. Na watu ambao wanaumia ni nyasi ambao ni wagonjwa wetu ambao wameshalipia NHIF na NSSF, ambao washalipia Minet, ambao washalipia AON. It is quite unfortunate. Sasa my biggest headache is that the Ministry of Health is sick. There is sickness in the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health is unhealthy. Now that the Ministry of Health is unhealthy, tell me whether the people who rely on the Ministry of Health to get good medication are also healthy. The answer is definitely not. And I hereby blame the driver, who is none other than Susanna Nakhumicha, a young lady who hails from the western region of Kenya, but for the first time in history, I've seen a woman who seems to be confused, leave alone the doubt we have in the papers that she holds. Now, at times people are suffering. Any educated person should come up with an alternative to make sure that things are fixed in whichever ministry that you have been assigned to lead. It is quite unfortunate that CS Susan Nakhumicha, you stood and said that you will fire the people who are demonstrating. When you are pressed further, you also stood and said that you are actually going not to touch the files because after all, the CBA that was signed, you are not there during that time. My friend, that is a show of unprofessionalism in the caliber of a lady whom we believed that you come from Western Kenya and you are educated. In any organized office, in any organized government of the Republic of Kenya, whether your predecessor did something good or wrong, you must ensure that you come up with strategies that fix the mess. But you can never run away from the mess claiming that you are not the one who created it. In that office, if there are papers, if there are files, either in soft copy or hard copy, there must be somewhere whereby the collective bargaining agreement was reached between the officials from the KMPDU, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union, and the government officials from the Ministry of Health. So when you stand and tell the people that since you are not there the time the agreement was signed, that one is indicating ignorance, that you are an ignorant lady, that you are sick yourself, leave alone the people who are in hospital. Being outside one cell can be Being outside one cell can be an inside of another cell. So you being out of hospital could be the case of a person being in an hospital. You seem to be in hospital because you are sick. Because if you are sane, you will have told us that despite the fact that you are addressing the doctor's crisis and coming up with mechanisms to fix their strike and their demands, you are now telling us that you fire the doctors. You are now telling us by defending yourself that you are not there. You are not part and parcel of the team which initiated the what? The collective bargaining agreement. So, madam, I think me as Bunge la Mwananchi President in Nakuru, together with the Wananchis across the country, Kenya, we hereby condemn the heinous a kind of utterances, as well as standing in solidarity with the Mheshimiwa Member of Parliament Embakasi East, Honorable Babu Owino, to push for your removal from office because you don't, fit that office. You don't fit the docket which you are assigned. A child at home telling the father that there is a snake in the bedroom, and the father opting that they go and they sleep in a guest house, is a show of cowardice. And maybe the best character we can give a father is of a different gender from that one of a male. Kwa sababu wewe, instead of facing the problem head on, you are telling us that you will fire them. How many times will you be firing the doctors? Wenye utaandika hao pia itakuja time what experience the same problem. Are you going to fire them? Haya, wewe saa hizi hawa watanyamaza warudi kwa hospitali watibu wagonjwa. Next year uta create space, muongee, msikizane na msaini collective agreement nyingine. After 5 years, you may not necessarily be in that same office. When another person will come to replace you, should the same person also stand and tell Kenyans when there shall be a strike that since she is not Nakhumicha, or since he is not Nakhumicha, who was in office when the CBA was signed is not going to listen to the doctor's demands and solve them? Or what are you trying to tell us? You are wasting time to go to funerals. Being a technocrat, we are seeing you in each and every corner of this nation. Or is it true that actually Wetangula is your boyfriend, as they put it? And I don't fear saying that because it is being speculated that you are the one he's the one being pushed, or you are being pushed by him to go and begin campaigning, to lay ground for your gubernatorial contest in Trans Nzoia County. And that's why also we have a good reason to see where the problem is coming from between Wetangula and his friend Natembeya, who is now the sitting governor, or the incumbent governor of Trans Nzoia. So my free advice is that apologize to Kenyan patients and Kenyan people who have lost their lives, whose siblings have lost lives, and tell them the way forward that you are considering to carry out to ensure that they receive proper medication. Also, go and engage Honorable Babu Owino, the Member of Parliament from Embakasi East. Tell him that you are so sorry and that he should not move forward to initiate, and he should also withdraw the letter which he gave to the Secretary of the National Assembly about your planned impeachment. Or else, understand that the power of the people belongs to their hands and they are going to impeach you. We cannot sit and watch a person earning full salary and allowances, going to funerals to pretend that he is mourning with the people who have lost their loved ones. The same time, we are losing patients in our hospitals and there is nothing the same person is doing. So Nakhumicha, shauri yako. In as much as we are pushing for your impeachment by the members of parliament of the National Assembly, we should not forget that Honorable Moses Wetangula is the referee at the National Assembly. And it should be understood that he is the same person who is pushing you, Nakhumicha, to front your name and your image for the 2027 gubernatorial race at Trans Nzoia. Sasa tuko kini sana, tuko macho nyanya, hatulali. Because the moment we impeach you, sisi sio wajinga. Babu Owino ameinitiate hiyo motion ya kukuimpeach sababu umefail kusikiza matakwa ya madaktari na ulete suluhu. Lakini ikumbukwe ya kwamba Moses Wetangula is your best friend and he wants you to be the governor of Trans Nzoia. And should you be impeached, your name goes to the National Assembly. Being the referee, being the speaker, he is likely to make sure that he jeopardizes the whole process of impeaching you. We are not fools. Nakhumicha, jina imepelekwa National Assembly, inafaa afanyiwe impeachment. Impeachment process, nani ameshikilia kuwa speaker ni Wetangula. Wetangula being a friend or a boyfriend who is pushing her to be the governor of Trans Nzoia, ako na ushawishi mkubwa sana kwa members of parliament. Bwana, tumeona Wetangula yeye ni referee lakini alikuwa anasukuma members of parliament wapitisha housing levy kupitia Ruto, na yeye wanaweza okoa huyu mama. Na ikumbukwe ya kwamba pia inasemekana kwamba President Ruto ana plan kureshuffle nafasi, atoe huyu Nakhumicha kutoka kwa Ministry of Health amweke kwa ministry ingine. We are being watchful and we may not allow that, because a person who is incompetent is still going to be incompetent in a different ministry. So hiyo ya Wetangula tumewatch sana. Babu Owino ameandikia Secretary wa National Assembly barua ya impeachment ya Nakhumicha. Akipelekwa kuimpichiwa huko, tutaangalia sana ili Wetangula urafiki wake na Nakhumicha asije akamuokoa, kwa sababu Wakenya wanakufa. it will be very wrong for her to be retained in the same ministry. Let her just go home. In fact, the best the office of Wetangula can do is to make sure that he takes this lady to the relevant office to be scrutinized, beginning with the papers. EACC inafaa iangalie makaratasi ya dada yetu Nakhumicha, tujue kwamba kweli amesomea hiyo pharmacy, na pia Ruto atueleze kama kulikuwa na watu wengine ama kuko na watu wengine ambao wanaweza kuchukua hiyo nafasi ya Nakhumicha. Lakini isikuwe kwamba sisi tunasema tu CS Nakhumicha, oh anatoka Western. Nonsense. Western pia wagonjwa wanakufa. Waluya nikawasikia mkisema ati oh Western sisi mtoto wetu mtaona. Mtaniambia kama Western kuna wagonjwa wenye wanakufa mahospitali, mili iko kwa mamochari ama hapana? Huyo Nakhumicha vitu gani? Nakhumicha uzuri wake ni Wetangula peke yake anajua, sio Waluya wengine. Tuna support na tunapenda watoto wote kutoka Luyaland sisi kama Wakenya, lakini hatutatazama ati watu wanatetea wao, at time wanapoteza watu wao wengine kwa hospitali. Na Nakhumicha anajipiga tu kifua akisema atafuta madaktari. Anasema yeye alinihari CBA ambayo ilisainiwa wakati yeye hakuwepo. We are tired of this and we can no longer withstand the heat in the kitchen. Thank you so much.